What's up? It's your boy Josh of JTM Racing. What's going on? So this whole week at work has been crazy. Worked mad overtime. Haven't had really any time to work on the Civic. Haven't even had time to go to the gym. So last Friday, me and Willie actually got some footage of me and him driving the Civic, doing a few pulls. I wanted Willie to drive it so he could see how the clutch felt. And he said it felt funny as well. So it's not just me. I think we need to get this exhaust hooked up here soon, so I actually have some back pressure because I feel like low end's horrible. And then we also have to work on the clutch as well. So there's a couple things we can replace. Replace the master, replace the slave cylinder. I think I'm going to do both of those. And then the rest is just really lines. Won't be touching those. And your overflow. And that's not leaking. So I need to replace those two things. It's about 40 bucks at AutoZone. So yeah, all the footage from Friday will be this next clip. And then following that will be us working on the Civic today. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to mess around with the clutch, if I'm going to pull the downpipe off so I can get it cut and shortened. I'm not too sure. We're going to be doing something. But yeah, let's just figure it out.
Much of a lift. You feel it. You can see where it...
No, not really at all. It's weird. Alright guys, so...
Never buy brakes on Amazon.
Got the cot package rotors. We're going to let Willie drive the Civic. I want him to feel the clutch. But we're going to start her up right now. Need to do that idle air control valve. It's that other chip. Garbage ass Harbor Freight. Boost gauge won't even change colors all the time. Come on.
I wonder if you got an instrument light fuse that's blown or something or anything.
Nah, one kicks on every once in a while, like a light over by the fuel gauge and the temperature gauge. What? They were. Gotta fix this gauge. I don't know if it's the gauge or something with the wiring. I think it's the gauge, but the white flickers, and I'm kind of pissed about that because I thought it looked fresh. Let her warm up. See how she's idling with that chip? Kind of sounds sick because it kind of sounds cammed. It's idling worse. It's idling worse than what it was. But you see how like raspy and the idle's like weird. Kind of sounds cammed in a way. But it runs better because it's dumping closer to the correct amount of fuel and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's not accurate because that's a eBay air-fuel ratio gauge. It doesn't even have like...
That is pedaling.
Well, right now, at idle, when you go to get on it, it jumps. But yeah, no, because, I mean, really this needs like an AEM setup, wideband. And yeah, I need to hook up that downpipe. We're going to cruise it around the block as soon as it warms up fully.
That, you're not really even giving it enough pressure.
It's like a couple inches of play. I think that's someone pulled in front of their house. See that shit? Gotta fix that or get a new gauge and wire it in. That pisses me off. No cluster lights, man. Gonna have to do it by ear when to shift. Do you remember reverse is? You're good, dude. Right? I'm telling you, dude, it doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, no power steering. How long has it been since you drove in a car with no power steering?
That part feels like a hydraulic problem.
Watch when you go to shift it. It's even more of a pain.
That feels hydraulic, but as far as that play on the top, if I just go straight, is that
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah. We got plates, man. Driving around the lawn. Boosted, yeah. It feels like it's a little faster in the passenger seat, honestly. Even though you're not like getting on it, it just
It's drivable, but yeah, that would annoy my foot.
Yeah, just go right, yeah. And there's a speed bump up here, so. She is gonna idle weird just because of the other chip. But she's drivable. I mean. Just go straight.
I'll stop here, right?
No, you're good. Just go to that stop sign. You're gonna turn out on the street where like Armando's is.
Okay.
This guy's house is so sick, man. He has so many cars in the backyard.
It actually drives better than, way better than it looks, right? Like,
You think?
yeah.
That clutch just bothers the shit out of me, dude.
But as far as that top play, I don't think that has anything to do with the hydraulics, though.
No?
It doesn't, no.
How not? Because the pedal feels
You're not
fine to
even
me. It
pushing the
just
pedal
seems
hard enough
short.
to engage anything. It just feels like maybe a pedal adjustment problem. But there is definitely something hydraulic going on the pedal.
Shit, just go to the light and then turn it on the street. I don't even think we're getting into boost when you do that yet. Blinkers do work, so. I mean, you could try to get into boost a little bit. I mean, because you're not going to drive it as hardcore as me, probably, so.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, that door panel shot, dude. Son. I think you're good, dude. You're good, Will. About 4 pounds? No, next one. About 4 pounds of boost right there.
I wish I could see the speedometer, though. That's the only
I
thing.
know, it's hard, dude.
That's definitely better than the other chip. Wasn't the other chip the one that...
The one that threw a check engine light and stuff because it doesn't, the map sensor doesn't know that it's getting so much air. Actually, we're gonna take it around the block one more time with me driving it. I wanna. I think also having the exhaust connected
'cause
will
it's not
help because
having the right
it's
back
boggy. Just you don't even have to pull it in. Just pull it to the side over here. Yeah, right here. I'm gonna hand you the camera.
Oh, we'll need some adjustment on that e-brake.
Okay, one thing you gotta watch out for though.
Oh, the door
Why is,
handle.
I wonder why.
I'm telling you, you may have a fuse blowing for shit in here.
No, but I don't know why that's not working. Because it was. Push.
Oh, it's, there you go.
Look, the ECU's right here.
Okay.
It's not running that bad right now. Here. Maybe it's just me, dude. I don't know.
Can't see shit.
It's alright. We'll just drive around. You drove it better than me, dude. Shit. It's because I've been driving that fucking brand new Camaro, dude. it, but
something going on with these interior lights.
I just get all new bulbs.
You know what? If you pull the cluster off, I think they just pull behind, twist off. Yeah.
So you just get all new ones, like a colored one, like a red one or something. Or
it's running pretty good. Yeah, could be the air too, right? Like
it's
when were we running
out.
it last? Was it hot as fuck? Oh, I was like trying to.
No, we're
No, I meant the outside temperature last time when it was gacking. Wasn't it like summertime?
Yeah, but I drove it the other day and it wasn't that hot. It's just you have to, I don't know.
Not getting much boost yet.
Usually don't until you start cutting into boost, but we'll get some boost this time. Watch it, see how high it goes up.
Stay running, baby. Under 5 according to that.
I think it's like about 4 pounds. Because I changed the spring. There was 2 springs in it.
Yeah, I was just
and
under.
I took one out.
Just under 5. It's running really good. No check engine light either.
It just still seems really doggy. Like, I feel like you should have more bottom end.
That could be the exhaust too. I still think the tuning thing needs to be looked at though by like an actual shop.
Oh, it needs to be tuned. It might be dumping too much
Fucking
fuel, all kinds
One
of
size
shit.
fits all chips just aren't cutting it for.
Well, no, but I gave them all the shit they had to do. Like, no.
I probably have that program for the computer. I just don't have the thing to plug the chip into.
What the fuck happened here?
What was that program called? That.
Come on, we're right there.
Oh, baby.
I don't want it to fucking die, dude.
Oh, right here though, we're good. That could be the idle air too, right? That valve.
Oh, yeah. It's like I have my sandals on and my feet keep slipping.
Oh,
and I'm
dude,
gonna
I
hit the
could never
brake.
drive a manual with flip flops or sandals.
I know, my like sandals falling off. Something definitely has to be done about that downpipe. Alright guys, so that was a cruise. Well, I don't know what's going to be on this video, but this is going to be the beginning, so. Alright. So yeah, I think I'm going to go to AutoZone, pick those up. Like I said, both of them together, only 40 bucks. Can't beat it. So yeah, we're picking up one of these, and we're going to be picking up the master, which that's what your clutch pedal connects to, where this line is running to your overflow. And then we'll be bleeding the whole system again, but it's all good. I ain't tripping. Really need to get this downpipe shortened. Hangs too low, doesn't meet up with the exhaust. Need the exhaust on there so I have a little bit more back pressure. But if you can see where it's sitting, where the cat is, we're off probably about 3.5 inches. I don't know if I should just drive this thing to the shop and get that done or what. But we need to get it done because first, I want back pressure. Second, I want it to sound better. So, and we're actually able to get some decent pulls with that other chip in the ECU, which is weird because when me and Willie first tried it way back, it was acting up, but now it's seeming to run pretty solid. Still need to get a tune, but there's a few things that have to be tied up. We need to do a new idle air control valve. I'm not getting that from AutoZone. I think the cheapest one's about 130, 140 bucks. I can go on Rock Auto, I think get one for like $40, $50. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a cheap bastard. But definitely need to replace that because that messes with the idle big time on this. I know this has nothing to do with the engine, but we need to get this cluster fixed too. I found out I need a new dimmer switch because if you slap it, cluster lights flicker on, but only a quarter of them are working. Just where the gas gauge is and the temp gauge. So I'm going to get all new cluster lights. So I'm going to have to pull the cluster out, put all new bulbs. They're going to be LED, red ones. And then pop the cluster back in. And then a new dimmer switch. And then we need to figure out what's going on with the volt gauge. And get the boost gauge wired in correctly. To where once I set it to the color I like, every time I start it, it's set at that color. Because I'm tired of switching it. And then on top of it, those Harbor Freight boost gauges are kind of junk. So, yeah, then I'm going to run to AutoZone. Actually, need to have Willie or just me do it. Need to solder up some of this wiring on the ECU so I can hang the ECU back up, do some zip ties, clean that up. Car needs to be cleaned inside. Probably going to pull these door cards off or these door panels off because the driver's side is garbage. This one's starting to get messed up. Makes a mess. Need to just pull all the door panels off because they're going to be all replaced at one time. Need to clean up down here where the rear seat is and actually put the rear seat back in because I have it. It's clean. Just needs to be put back in. I'm thinking about actually just getting a whole new carpet kit for this, like, while I'm at it. Because this carpet's pretty rough. There's a lighter in there. That's where I lost it last week. But yeah, I'm thinking about just putting a new carpet kit in it. Probably go black. And my idea... going black carpet with the gray interior, so we'll have the gray panels. Back seats might stay gray for a second. Get these in black. Maybe a black headliner. I don't know. There's a few different options I have. I've also thought about doing red carpet. With the red inserts in the panel and some sick ass gray front seats, and we'll just leave the gray rear seat as well. I'm not too sure. We'll see. Piece by piece, piece by piece. So yeah, let's go run up to AutoZone real quick, pick those up. We're at good old AutoZone, so let's go in and get that master and that slave. All right, so people that work at AutoZone are just huge idiots. Like, I go in there, I tell the guy exactly what I need, what year, make, model my car is. First thing first, he picks a 2003 when I say 93. So he gives me the wrong pricing. So then I got to look it up on AutoZone myself to get him the part numbers. And then that's when we realized he put in 03, not 93. So I think he quoted me like $120 at first, and I was like, no, dude. I already looked him up. It's like $40 for both. And I ended up paying $47.59 out the door. So he looks them up, charges me for them, gives me my receipt, and he says, have a good day. And he didn't even pull my parts yet. I was like, And he's like, oh, shit, I got to pull your parts. Yeah. No shit, dude. Like, you should have been pulling my parts before you even charged my ass. So, I swear, man. Like, anytime I go to Checker, Pep Boys, AutoZone, bunch of morons that work there. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks this, because dudes that actually know cars should be working there and getting paid decent just for knowledge, but they have idiots. And I have applied at all those places when I was a kid. Never could get hired. and I knew way more than any dude that worked in there. They just hire morons. But got the parts. If you want to know the part numbers, we got your slave, which is 13090, and then you got your clutch master cylinder, that's 13328. Probably start with doing the master first, and then we'll do the clutch slave cylinder next. We're going to pull them out of the bag and see what they look like. There we go. So here's your slave cylinder, here's your master. First thing I'm going to do is bleed the system. Well, not bleed the system, empty the system. So we're going to crack open the Zerk fitting, let it all run out into a pan. So most of the fluid's out of the way. Then we'll start on the master, and then we'll work on the slave cylinder next. And then after all that, we got to bleed the system. So pretty much we'll be gravity bleeding it like we did in the video before this, and just filling it up with brand new fluid. And hopefully the clutch pedal feels a lot better. I mean, I kind of figured it out. I think a lot of it's me because of the power band, and this thing is so much slower than the SS. So I'm not used to it, so I feel like it's not getting up or getting out of its own way. But the clutch does feel funny, and even if those two things aren't bad, at least they're replaced with brand new ones. And if the pedal feels the same, then I'll just keep these just in case. I know my buddy TJ is looking at Hondas, so who knows, maybe he'll use one of mine. But honestly, they're so cheap, it's not even worth it. Like I said, 48 bucks for both of these. I think this was $14.99 and this was $28.99, something like that, so plus tax. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, so I took the Zerk fitting completely out. If you can see, it's still draining a little bit. Actually, it just kind of stopped, now it's dripping. The actual clutch reservoir is empty already. So next thing is, here's your master. Where is it? Down here. There's going to be 2 bolts in the car by the pedal assembly, or 2 nuts. And you're going to loosen those, and this is going to come out this way. And then you're going to have to disconnect that line. And then there's a rubber line or braided hose that has a clamp on it. You're gonna have to pull off with a pair of pliers, and then that little assembly should come out. But first thing first, what I'll be doing is disconnecting the pedal from the master. So I'm gonna look on this one and see how it would be connected. So there's probably like a little rod or a little with a little clip, or like a C clip on it or something in there. I'm gonna have to take a look at it. I haven't done it on this car before, so let's check it out. All right, so got the pedal disconnected, got the nuts off on the inside of the master. So it's gonna be 12mm nuts. Pretty much what you have here. This is what's going to run through the pedal like a pin. And then you have a cotter pin running through that pin. And they bend it at like a 90. So not too hard to get out. Now next, I'll be pulling off that line and then that hose going to the reservoir, and then we should be able to slide that out and throw the new one in there. Cake. This guy, not too sure either. Got to pull this rubber boot off. That's where it hooks up. These 2 bolts, this line, I believe it's that simple. So let's get this shit done. Alright, so I got the master out. One thing to make it a little bit easier, I took the reservoir out because it's kind of in its way at the top. So 2 10mm bolts for that. I kind of compared the two. They don't feel too different, to be honest with you. This one feels a little bit more spongy, but I don't know if this is bad. But we're going to put the new one in anyways. For all I know, maybe the slave cylinder is bad. That's on the tranny. I don't know. But since it's out, you might as well put the new one in. I'm probably going to hold on to this just in case. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. It's a little bit of a pain getting that line off. It threads in quite a bit, and you can only really get like a 10mm open end wrench. So yeah, we're going to throw this new one in here, get it all bolted up, get it mounted to the pedal, get this back on, get the reservoir back on, and then we'll move to this one next. So when we get to the next clip, this one will be all installed. Alright guys, so got the master back in, got the clutch fluid line tied in, got the reservoir line clamped back in. I don't know if that's going to leak below because those are OEM clips, and it doesn't, or OEM clamps, and it doesn't seem really tight down there, but we're gonna see. And if it leaks, I'll just have to replace the hose, and probably don't have to replace the hose, probably just put an actual like new clamp with a screw on it, but we'll see. I might just replace that hose too, only if it leaks. So next is the slave. So first thing first, we're gonna pull off that rubber boot, probably disconnect this line right here, same thing as the clutch line up top, and then I believe just these two bolts right here on the bottom will come out, and that whole thing will come off the wall of the tranny. So let's do it. Alright guys, so I think I found the problem. I'm pretty sure it was the slave. So if you look at the old one, it's caked in grease. That can be a sign of it leaking. That's why it's so caked. And when you compress it, there is no pressure at all. It's just free. No air comes out of here. It doesn't build up any pressure. It just squeezes free. When you squeeze this one, you can barely squeeze it in. You squeeze this one, just cake. So I'm thinking that one's shot. So we'll put this new one on. Very simple. This boot goes in the tranny around this rod. There's two bolts, 12mm, and then of course your line goes at the top. Now this guy's gonna slide in to this little bracket right here, and it holds that ball and it locks it in. So we're gonna put the new one in, then flush the system, or not flush it, bleed the system, and I think we should be good to go. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing if the clutch works. So let's do this. Alright guys, so everything's been pretty successful so far. Got the slave cylinder installed. The only thing that was kind of a pain in the ass was threading in this pressure fitting with this line. I kind of had to bend the line at a certain angle to get this to thread in. This slave cylinder is a little bit different design than the OEM one. Even the bleeder sits at a different angle. But we got that in, got your master in. Now what we're going to want to do is bleed the system. You're going to need two people. So first thing, you're going to want to fill up your reservoir, which I already did, with .4 brake fluid. You're going to want someone in the car pumping the clutch while you're out here cracking open this bleeder. So pretty much how it's going to work. I'm not going to film it, but you're going to have someone in there. You're going to have them pump it, 5 to 10 times. Hold their foot all the way down on the clutch. You're going to crack open the bleeder while their foot's all the way on the clutch. You're going to let all that air out. You're going to close it back up. Then they're going to release their foot off the clutch. And then they're going to pump it another 5 to 10 times. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to repeat the process. And hopefully we get a better pedal doing that. So let's do it. So we got the clutch bled. You can tell she runs a little rougher with that other chip in the ECU. We've got the clutch bled. Clutch still feels a little funny to me. I don't know if it really fixed it. There's still like a lot of play in the pedal. It doesn't slip, so I don't think it's the clutch. If anyone else knows what it is, say something in the comments. But yeah, I have no clue. I have no clue what it is. I mean, we did a new slave. a new master. No more air coming out of the system. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. We're going to take this thing around the block real quick just to see how she feels. So, took her around the block. Pretty much feels the same. I don't know. Maybe I should put a different clutch in it. Another stage 3.6 puck, or maybe like a stage 2. Not so aggressive. But I wonder if there's some adjustment I can do to that pedal. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. I mean, she drives, she don't slip, but it just doesn't feel right. So now that that's done, those are brand new. Slave cylinder and master was a success. In a way, getting them done wasn't too bad. I got both of those knocked out in probably about an hour and a half. We did bleed all the air out of the system. I know I didn't show that, but there's a bunch of videos on YouTube that show you how to do that. When you empty the whole system like I did, you don't want to gravity bleed it. It's not going to work that way. You're going to have to pump the clutch to get the fluid moving through the system and keep filling up that reservoir. That's just how it's going to work. But if you already have a system that is full of pressure, has fluid in it, and you're just trying to bleed it, you can gravity bleed it. But in this case, I would do the 2 people, one inside, one on the outside, or get yourself a bleeder tool. Just put it on the end of that Zerk fitting and keep squeezing until you get all the air out of it. But this is where we're at right now with it. I'm just mad because I don't know why this clutch feels so funny to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Or maybe something's up with the actual tranny itself. I'm not sure. But I'm going to leave the video there. We got a bunch of footage, so that's awesome. And hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be an extra long video, so definitely subscribe, share, comment, and like. Peace out.